Hello, welcome to Reboot. I'm Rebekah Campbell. I'll be facilitating today. So Reboot is brought to you by the City of Sydney. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people, the traditional owners of the land in which much of us are meeting on today, and their owners, their elders past and present. And because we're meeting online and lots of us are in lots of different locations, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of all the lands in which we're meeting on today and any Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people who are participating in this event. So for those of you who are new to Reboot, this is actually session number 15. So we have had 14 events already. The program was designed by the City of Sydney to support Sydney business owners to recover from COVID. There was a survey that the City of Sydney sent out to business owners to request about what skills do you need at this time. And there was a lot about leadership, digital marketing, branding, and so we've run events on all of these topics. So if you want to check out the past events, we will share a link on chat now where you can get videos of all the other events. So we've had an incredible leadership event with the global CEO of Xero. We have had content marketing with the founder of Pedestrian. We had a special event with Facebook 2 weeks ago. We had an incredible event last week, for anyone who missed it, with Adam Jacobs, the co-founder of the Iconic, and David Anderson from the Big Red Group on how to grow your online store. So I recommend checking out those videos if you haven't been at these events. So today we have a special event with Canva. So most people who are attending are from the City of Sydney. So I'm imagining that most of you have heard of Canva, an incredible Sydney success story, founded only in 2012, has grown, now employs, I think, 1,500 people in the Sydney office, and then many others in offices in other locations. Recently valued at $19 billion. So Canva is a product which enables anyone to design anything, essentially. I was speaking to a business owner last week, just giving her some advice, and she was just telling me that Canva has completely changed the way she runs her business, and that she's a small business owner. She's a one-person business, and she was spending so much money hiring graphic designers to create her social media marketing and even to build the pages for her website. She's doing that all on Canva herself now. She's just like, I cannot believe that everybody is not using this product. So today we're going to be learning how to use Canva, how to make the most out of it. Also some design tips. We're going to start with some basics. So for people who haven't used Canva before, we will learn how to use the product, and then we'll get into some more advanced stuff like videos and GIFs as we kind of progress through the event today.
Thank you, Rebekah, and hello everyone. Welcome to our Reboot seminars for 2021. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of our land, part of the oldest living culture on earth, and I pay my respects to their elders. I also acknowledge the people of the many nations who live in our city. And I'd also like to welcome the many local experts participating in the Reboot series and sharing their knowledge with our small businesses and startup community. Last year, at the height of the pandemic, the City surveyed our business community to learn what you need to survive and to recover from the damage brought about by COVID. In response to what you told us, we launched the Reboots webinars to equip you with the skills and strategies that will help you thrive in these challenging times. So thank you for your interest in attending today. And I'll leave you with Rebekah and our local experts to advise you on how to strategize and plan for growth in this ever-changing economic environment.
So the format is we're first going to hear from Canva's lead curriculum designer, Matt Beach, who's going to give us a presentation for around 20 minutes. We've then got 3 Sydney business owners at different stages of the use of Canva who are going to ask questions to Matt, and then also Nick Belshaw, who's a design educator at Canva. So that's the format of the event, and Matt has very kindly offered 3 months free pro accounts for Canva. You can, Matt, jump in. I'm just about to introduce you to explain what that is, but towards the end of the presentation, Matt will be sharing a QR code where if you snap the QR code, it will give you 3 months free use of Canva. So if you hang around and watch the presentation, you'll be able to access that. So I will now hand over to Matt. I'm super excited to learn more about how to use Canva. Matt has been teaching design for more than 20 years and is now leading design curriculum at Canva. So Matt, thank you so much for putting this together for us.
Thank you so much, Rebekah. I'm going to swap you over to my presentation. Thank you very much, Rebecca and the City of Sydney, for asking me to speak. I've been watching quite a few sessions in this series and they've been getting better and better. It's such a great initiative and amazing to see all the different types of businesses and how they're finding a way to cut through and bounce back after COVID. And it's not just COVID, it's bushfires, floods, mouse plagues. I think we need to remember that we need to congratulate ourselves on what a resilient bunch we are. So my name is Matt. I've been at Canva for exactly 9 weeks now. So I am a newbie in every way. I'm heading up a new initiative called E2E, which is Education to Employment. And that's aiming to help young people from poor communities around the world learn emerging tech skills and find work. I've been working in adult education for 20 years now, both in private and public. And I've made a shift to Canva because I saw a company that really understood the value of design. Now, as Rebecca hinted at, I love using QR codes. So you might see a bunch of these in the Prezzo. All you need to do is point your smartphones and the camera at it, and it'll take you through to the right place. So I should introduce Nick as well. He's not a newbie. He's been around for a while. He's one of my co-workers at Canva. He's going to jump in occasionally and show more advanced features, especially towards the end. So what is Canva? So it's an Australian founded company with a huge mission to empower the world to design. And so far we're doing pretty well. We've got over 60 million monthly active users, and we're doubling in size every year and delivered in over 100 languages. But as our founder Melanie says, we're only really 1% of the way there. Canva's also a platform for your creativity. It's a free tool, so you can visit canva.com and start designing without even signing in. A lot of what I'll show you today is what you can do in the free version, but some of it is also available in the pro version. Our vision is to have everyone everywhere achieve their goals through design. And one of our values within Canva is to set these crazy big goals and make them happen. And we like the idea of sharing this value and helping people achieve their goals, whether they're big, small, everywhere. Some goals literally change the world. Canva is used by over 100,000 not-for-profits. They use Canva for free to raise funds to draw attention to critical causes. And that's right, if you're a not-for-profit, you get Canva for free. So today I'm going to go quickly through a project, a fictional brand, so you can see how quickly we can set up things with Canva, with your brand. And I've managed to use the word brand twice in that last sentence. And when people normally hear about it, they think of a logo, the colors of Google, the script of Disney, the bite out of the apple. And these are all brands that we know and we love, but a brand is so much more than just a logo. Your logo doesn't define your brand. It helps people recognize your brand, but your brand perception is formed by your audience. This perception is a combination of logo, identity, visuals, experience, products. They're all interconnected to make up your brand. And logo is just one part. It's one part of your brand puzzle. Equally as important is the emotion, the gut feeling we have, the stories that we tell, the behavior, and what people say about you when you're not in the room. This is your colors, your fonts, your positioning, your signage, your sensory and visual consistency. So slightly strange, when I first came to Canva, I realized they love to talk about brand by talking about David Bowie. I don't know if we've got any fans of David Bowie out there, but this is David at his core. His personality and values are inherent, and these don't change over time. But over the decades, he's evolved with the times and the trends and the zeitgeists, and he's expressed himself outwardly in many different ways. And this is a bit like a brand. At its core, it needs to remain the same, but it should have enough flexibility to evolve over time. From a product you hold in your hand to one that's voice only, the brand needs to evolve, while what's inside the brand should stay the same. Now, we've put together a workbook. Here's my first QR code. A bit like it's a brand style guide, basically, and it has all the pages you need to keep your brand going. So if you want to take a quick picture of this, it's a great little style. Basically takes you through a whole bunch of questions that forces you to look at what your brand is. And I think everyone I've spoken to normally finds 1 or 2 questions they hadn't thought about before, which has then made their brand a bit stronger. Okay, I'm not going to bang on about brand too much. It's one of my personal loves, except I would suggest for any business that they also look into this. This is brand archetypes. It's based on the Jungian archetypes. So this is based on decades of research, originally made for people, but they've been adopted for branding. And there's a great little website here that you can look at, which will really take you into what the 12 kind of, I guess, primitive and unique personality types are. Now, how this applies to brand is that you can start to think about what the actual brand portrays. And I talked about before, like when you're not in the room, how do people actually talk about you? And obviously Patagonia is all about the explorer. It's all about getting out there into the unknown. Nike is all about elevating extreme human performance. And Canva inspires creativity. And it's also in the way that we work. As I said, we dream big goals and we see potential everywhere. In a similar vein, brand personality spectrum works in a similar way. So you can try this where you can plot your brand and where it sits on the spectrum between playful and serious, or youthful, mature, mass and elite. And this is actually in the brand workbook. So it gives you a chance to kind of have a play. People connect with you and grow to like you and trust you if you have a clear and consistent visuals and messaging that stands out and gets you noticed. So I'm going to show you a few features where Canva can actually help you do this, help you bring your brand to life. So if you need design, creative, whether it's print, digital, this is your one-stop shop. We've got thousands of templates, fonts, images, videos, and audio all in one place. You can literally design almost anything. You can start a new document or create a custom size. The biggest thing we hear from new users is there's almost too much choice. We have 270,000 free templates and 420,000 pro templates. So there's a lot of templates there. And that's why, because there's so many, we like to try and get people to start inspired. So you can search and find your own template to kickstart your creativity. The templates are ready to go with content that's already in there that'll help you get started. Once you have your template chosen, you can then start to make your own unique design. You can edit your template using the editing toolbar. And you can see here that we've picked a fake brand that is basically picked a template and then is able to literally bring it to life by making it their own. One of the great things about Canva is you can put your brand elements into the platform so they're there waiting for you whenever you need them. So you can upload a logo. And even if you don't have official colors, Canva can actually extract official colors from your logo for you. You can put your fonts in, and it's all sitting there in the brand kit, ready to go when you're ready. This way you can keep everything consistent. And we talked about how important it is to keep everything consistent. The Styles tab allows you to change your document and fonts and colors really quickly and easily. So again, you're sticking with your brand. So you can also get it go straight to Facebook. So you can connect with Facebook to publish your designs in one simple click with lots of different file options. You can also get straight into Instagram. And remember, you can do this on your phone as well. iOS, Android, it's like sitting there and you can literally just create it and upload it straight away. So I'm going to show you a few pro features now that I get really excited about. So the first one is just insane because it literally takes away the background. So we've all had those situations where we've got an image that we really wanted to use, but maybe there's something happening in the background that we don't want to use. So we've got this new tool called Background Remover, which literally you go in, you click it, it's gone. I'll just show you again because it's that quick. Go in, click it, it's gone. So it literally takes it out. This used to be one of the hardest things to do in other programs, and now it's like one click. You can also make your designs come to life. So this is what we call smart mockups. So sometimes it's really nice to be able to show how this might actually look on someone else's laptop or their phone or even a picture frame. So you simply just choose your design, select mockup, and with a single click, you've got something that you can show. This is probably one of my favorite because we've all been able to make one amazing design, but then you have to go and recreate it for a whole bunch of other different formats, different platforms. So we've now got this, what we call the resize option, where you can literally go in, take something that you have already created, and then resize it to whatever you want. So it'll resize it up, and then it's literally drag and drop or drag to like make things bigger, click and drag to move things around, and you've got your next post or poster or whatever you need done. This is really good for creating supporting marketing materials, making sure that you've got all sorts of different social posts ready to go. And again, it's just one click and it's done. You can also schedule your social content. This is a fairly new feature where we can literally set it all up so it comes out when you want it to come out. And this has been a real game changer as well. Just this idea that we can actually like choose when our audience is actually going to be ready to take the information in. And again, you can do this from your desktop or your phone. And another really great thing that Canva can do is you can work simultaneously in teams. So I'm just going to show you this. We're going to drop in Ronnie, and he's going to be able to jump straight in and actually work on the document with me. And this is amazing because you can literally have whole teams working together and organizing how everything looks, which is really great for sign off. So rather than having to like create PDFs or JPEGs to get sign off from someone else, you can literally drop them in. If they don't like exactly where the type is, they can move it. Okay, and this is the QR code, which will give you 3 months Canva Pro. So this basically gives you access to everything. So you can go in and really try out Canva and see what it's all about. And I guess that's the last thing I really wanted to say. That's really what we want for everyone to be able to do, is to like play. One of the big things that we want every new user to understand is you can't break Canva. Anything you do is not going to break the whole system. And the engineers have actually built it so they want you to go in and play around, make some mistakes, and just learn as you go. And we've tried to make the user interfaces as fun as possible to use. Now, if you do get a bit lost, there's some amazing extra support groups out there. This is a Facebook group called Design Circle. Last time I checked, it had 120,000 members. And it has probably about 100 posts per day, which is amazing. If you get stuck, you've always got someone you can talk to. So now I'm going to flip over so we can actually show you how it actually works. I'm going to bring in Nick and Olivia from DanceWorks, and we're going to have a little look at how we can actually use Canva to actually build something that a business needs.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Nick.
Hi, everyone.
So those of you who attend these sessions regularly will know that we have 3 Sydney business owners to ask questions. As I mentioned before, we're going to start with the simple stuff. So Olivia has never used Canva before, and then we're going to have some more advanced videos and GIFs towards the end. So Olivia, do you want to just start by describing? Can I ask you to stop screen sharing, Matt, if that's okay?
Yep.
So we can put everybody onto the screen. And Olivia, if you can just share your challenge, and then Nick is going to help you live in the session.
Sure. So just a little bit about my studio. I've run DanceWorks Sydney now for 5 years, and we teach kids, we teach adults, and we also teach students who want to become elite professional ballerinas. So I'm a former ballerina myself, and I'm still performing as well. I do all my social media and all my publicity, and it's not very good. So I really need help. It's not a big interest of mine, but it's so important for my business, and it's so important for reaching audiences and for getting my name out there in the studio. So I'm really looking forward to getting some help today on designing flyers, because for most of my social media events, I use flyers, whether it's workshops, a concert, holiday classes, everything. And I actually have a really important event coming up, which is the 5th anniversary gala of my studio. So it's a big celebration. It's a concert in July, and I haven't done any flyer for it. So I'm looking forward to getting some help today. I've also never used Canva. I've heard so many good things about it, but I only haven't used it because I've got an Apple Mac and it has Pages, and yeah, I just used what was on my computer already. But yeah, I really want to learn about Canva.
And Nick, you want to jump in and you should help show Olivia what to do.
Of course, yes. Well, great to see you again, Liv. Yes, so it's a really common story, actually. We have a lot of people coming to Canva who obviously have no design experience, or they're sort of just stuck with the tools that came pre-installed on their computer. Obviously, one of the biggest advantages with Canva is that you can, it's cloud-based. It's completely works through a browser, so it doesn't matter what device you're on. And of course, it works across mobile as well. So you can pick up a design where you left off from your computer over to your mobile if you need to make a quick change on the fly, on the go, which is super handy. So what I thought I'd do today is jump into a quick Canva demo from the perspective of a new user. So we'll have a quick look at Canva Pro and some of the features that might help Olivia and other small businesses getting started with different marketing communications and that sort of thing. So let me just share my screen here and I'll come over to my demo page. Hopefully you can all see here, I've just jumped straight into the home page of Canva. So this is what you will see whenever you log into Canva for the first time. Obviously, if you use the link, which we'll probably share again for that Canva Pro 3-month trial. So you'll see this homepage here, which is the perfect place for you to jump into a new design. You can see there's a whole bunch of categories here in the banner, which sort of, things like presentations or social media templates. There's also a For You area, which sort of updates based on the recent document types that you've been creating. And there's a few other things over here on the left. So obviously we can flip down here to things that are shared with me, other recent designs. But the one I'm really interested to show you guys today is this one here, Brand Kit. So Brand Kit is a place for you to add all of your assets. As we saw just briefly in Matt's demo, you can add things like logos, graphic devices, things you might use regularly, fonts, color palettes, all that sort of stuff. So you can easily apply it to a design later on, just in one click. So we're going to look at how that works later. You can see I've actually added Olivia's logo in here already, and I've actually, Liv, you didn't have a color palette, so I've actually extracted one here just for us to work with for today, and hopefully you'll see how this is really beneficial going forward. So let's go back to the homepage here, and so I know Liv makes a lot of flyers, and I think we need to start by having a look for flyer templates. So there's lots of ways we can find templates. Probably the easiest one is to use the universal search at the top here. So if we just do flyer, you can see there's a whole bunch of, even landscape flyer. We're just going to stick with a conventional sort of portrait style flyer here. So we'll click on this and we're going to see a whole bunch of templates. As Matt mentioned, there's almost 1 million templates in our library. So it's pretty insane. It can be a little overwhelming at first. So in this case, I want to choose a template that's going to work quite well for some of the assets that Olivia has given us. I had one in mind here, which I'm just trying to see if I can find it again. Otherwise, I'll just grab another one. Let's have a look here. Let's go for this one for now. So once you choose a template, of course, Matt mentioned quite often the feedback we get is that there's just too many options. It's great to just jump in, grab a template, and sort of start playing, start working, because at any point you can always come back over here in the object panel and choose a new template. It's very, very easy. So you can come down here and I can override this existing one with something else at any point if I want to, or kind of mix and match them. In this case here, I want to start to update this with some of the different assets that Liv has given us. So the first one is obviously the logo and the brand colors. So we have a couple of really easy ways to apply it. You can all see over here in the object panel, there's a little button here called Styles. If I click on Styles, this is where I can access those brand kit elements from before. So the fonts and colors that I've already set up. So just in one click here, I'm going to apply the fonts, and I'm also going to apply the colors in another click. And I can even just click to cycle through those colors until I get a combination that I really like. I'm going to stick with maybe that one for now. And the next step is I want to add the logo to this design as well. So again, over here in the object panel on the side here, we've got a logos tab. So this is going to be all the logos that have been set up in the brand kit. So let's take maybe this one here. I believe I have a, let's try another one here, this one. Yeah, this is the one I want. So this one is actually what we call an SVG file. So we can actually change the color of this logo. So up here in the toolbar, we've got a little color tile. I can come in here and change this to one of my brand colors really easily, or any color at all. I can come and choose any color on the spectrum here. You can see the color of the logo is updating. So let's just go, I think for this one, we want to actually keep it black for now. And so the next part here is to update maybe a photo as well. So Olivia has actually sent a photo over to us as well. And I know Olivia had some concerns about updating your images later on. Obviously, I think you're working on some new imagery soon. So obviously this is an editable document. You can come back and edit it anytime you like. But for now, let's have a look, first of all, at uploads. And okay, so here's the image we have here. I'm going to drag this over, drop it in. This image might not be ideal for sort of like a portrait style position like this, but of course, we can edit and move it around and position the image exactly how we want within the frame, within the background. And the other thing here is if, of course, you want to search for a different image, maybe something that's that you don't own or that's within our library, you can come over here to the Elements tab. You can search for LA. Let's see what we can find. And of course, we're getting a lot of different elements, images, all sorts of different stuff that we can use here. So you might actually find something that's more appropriate for this flyer. But for now, I'll just I'm going to go back here to the other image. There you go. Just press back a few times just to kind of work with the assets that you've shared with us. Okay, and one of the last things I wanted to show you here is just how to edit, how easy it is to edit text and update that sort of thing. So I don't really need this little element there, so I'm going to remove that one. And I'll just switch over to my notes here and grab some of the other elements that we might want for this flyer. So I believe it was the 5th anniversary gala. So that's good, and we might take the other part here, maybe the date and time, and of course put that in here. Maybe what I'd want to do is swap the order of these boxes around, so we have the date and time underneath the main title. So in this case, I can just ungroup these two boxes, and we'll move this one down here, and we'll just move that up slightly. So already you can see it's pretty easy to start to pull things together. I'm not going to go into too much more right now. I'm going to just share this with you, Liv, so you can kind of play around with it. But the main thing that I just wanted to highlight here is how easy it is to mix and match templates, to apply your brand style with fonts and colors, to search for images and elements. There's literally millions of different ingredients you can add. And of course, being able to then share this document out to whatever platform you need. So of course you can keep working on it. You can share with a collaborator to keep designing, or you can actually share it straight out to a social media platform, or download it as a PDF or a JPEG, or a whole bunch of different document types as well. So there's a little quick demo into how I guess the Canva editor works. I hope that helps. Yeah. I'll switch over to Rebekah. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Excellent. Very, very cool.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Was that, have you got what you need, Olivia?
Yeah, no, that looks really good to me. The biggest thing that I have trouble with is that I create a flyer on Pages, and then it's the wrong size for Instagram, and it's the wrong size for Facebook, and then I have to try and make a brand new flyer that will actually fit on Instagram, and it's such a waste of time. And I get it wrong every time anyway, so...
Nick, do you think you could show quickly how we could resize?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that really quickly now. I'm actually just going to remove this second page here because this flyer was a double-sided design, but we only really need the front page here. We saw briefly in Matt's presentation there was an option to resize. That's this button up here in the top left. So this kind of works like magic. You can come in here, you can select all the different outputs that you need. So in this case, perhaps we need, maybe we're doing a Facebook event and we need a Facebook cover. Maybe we also want to do an Instagram post. So maybe just those two for now. Let's copy and resize. And what this will do is create the document to the right size. And you need to do sometimes a small amount of adjustment. So you can see here, this image is not quite wide enough. Obviously, we can just kind of stretch that out there. And with very minimal work, you can actually resize your design so that it works perfectly with the new design output. So I think we should also have, here's the Instagram one as well. So again, might need to just do a little bit of editing here just to kind of adjust how you might want to arrange this. But it's very, very easy to then bring this over to other designs and sort of move things around. Definitely a huge time saver.
Yeah, that is so cool because that I do not have at the moment at all. And it's a real pain.
Yeah, absolutely. And with something like this, I think what you could also do is think about where you want to save these designs. So you can actually save them to a folder where you keep all your assets in one place. So it makes it super easy for you to kind of locate them later on. That's probably what I'd recommend doing. Of course, yeah, there's so many different options for outputs and different things, but yeah, I would recommend saving all of these in one place in a campaign folder, and you've got them all there ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I can just have multiple versions of the same flyer down, like saved.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, I have to get started.
Thanks, Olivia. Good luck with your gala as well.
Thank you.
And thanks very, very much, Nick, for the explanation.
Thank you.
Great.
So next up, we're going to go to Rayanne, who has a business called Cocoa Duo. So Cocoa Duo make artisanal pastries and cakes. Rayanne has been working part-time in the business for a while, but has recently gone full-time. She does already use Canva, but she just wants to ask some questions about how else she could use the product to enhance and grow her brand. Rayanne, if you want to give us an update on where you're at and put your questions to Matt and Nick, thanks.
Sure, thank you, Rebecca. I started Cocoa Duo in 2018 November, and mostly it's been something I've just been doing from home. I quit my full-time job about 2 months ago now, so I can sort of try and pursue this full-time. So it's not generating enough income for me to support myself at the moment, but that's kind of a goal that I'm working towards. So I've used Canva recently to create a chocolate menu. I'm also working on a cake menu because I think the issue that I have is because I provide quite a few different products. I think sometimes people might be a little bit overwhelmed, I guess, with, okay, so where do we start and who am I and what am I about? But the other thing that I'd really like is, I think the one thing that I don't have at the moment is a website. So I'd be curious to find out how I can use Canva to assist in making my own for the moment. But also what tips that you have for creating videos, because I know that from the last, I think one of the most recent reboots, they were talking about how a lot of people tend to respond to videos quite a lot on social media marketing. And because I'm a little bit shy sometimes, I don't sort of tend to put myself out there, but I'd like to know, I guess, how I could use Canva as well to create like interesting videos that will keep people engaged with my brand.
So firstly, I just want to say your products look amazing. When I was looking through your social media earlier, I was just salivating because they look amazing. So well done for like taking the leap and getting out there. And the first thing I'd say is looking at your social media, I think you can, like, there's two different types of video as well. So there's one, there's a video like a face to camera, that kind of traditional such style of things. But even just having moving images is kind of will stop people in their tracks and force them to like look. And looking through your stuff, I really noticed straight away that yes, the images look amazing and like you can almost taste them, but you could actually probably put some text on there and probably a CTA, so like a call to action sort of thing. So when you're showing a particular one, like call out what it actually is, and you can have that text animated. Then at the same time, like then follow on with like, you know, what you want the audience to do. So how can they get that amazing looking chocolate in their mouths as quickly as possible? So that sort of stuff will be a great way to kind of like stop people scrolling, because that's what we want them to do. We want them to like stop, have a really good look at what you've created, and then read your text. But if we don't stop it in the first place, we won't be able to do that.
When you say having text, sorry, as in having text on the actual image itself, or just more in the caption? Just
on the actual image itself.
Okay, cool.
Because that's where you know what it's like when we're scrolling. Like we're scrolling. I'm not reading anyone's text that they have underneath. I'm just literally going for something that stops me, and so I need to be able to get that sort of because we, you know, the beauty about text and image is they don't need to do the same thing. We can even say something like feeling hungry, and then we're asking a question and forcing the person to engage with us, even if they didn't mean to. Because they're still scrolling on, and they're like, actually, I do feel hungry.
Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you.
Do you reckon I'm going to put Nick under pressure here? Do you think you could show quickly how to put some text onto an image and then animate it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me do a very quick demo. Bear in mind, this is completely unrehearsed, so bear with me here. I'm going to jump back into the Canva account here, and I'll show you how you can get started with, I guess there's a few different ways when we talk about video content or animated content. There's a few different ways you can approach it. So we do have things like video templates, which you can see here, which is great if you're creating maybe something for YouTube. It's in this, you know, very standard size, which is 1920 by 1080. So this is, you know, high definition video. You've got a really quite comprehensive timeline editor now, where you can add things and music and all sorts of stuff. But in this case, we just want something, you know, we want thumb stopping content for Instagram, right? So we want something that's going to work really well on social media. If you come up to the search bar and search for animated social media, there we go, this one. This is going to bring up a whole bunch of kind of animated templates. And if you just mouse over these, you can kind of see how they work. There's just enough subtle animation to really amp up the engagement and sort of stop people when they're scrolling through. So here's another little trick here. You can click on the little ellipsis 3-dot menu here, and we can just choose preview template. So we can kind of bigger look at it without actually going into the editor. And we can see things like what colors are used in this template, the fonts. We can even quickly find other templates that are similar. So this can be really helpful if you have an idea of the style that you want, but maybe the template isn't exactly right. Just open it up like this, and you can kind of go down and find other ones.
Okay.
So let me come back out of here. We want something that's maybe good for images.
So we need to be able to see the chocolates.
Yeah, that's true. And I apologize. I didn't get to see your wonderful images on social media, so I'm just going to kind of make this up as I go along here.
That's okay.
But let me quickly search for a new image here. So we'll go into elements, and let's try find a nice chocolate image here. And I don't know if these are going to be very appropriate, but let's put in a couple of different images here. Sure. And obviously, with all templates, these frames that contain the images are placeholders that you can just drag in and replace it at any point you like. So really super easy to work with. So let me just grab one more here.
Just while you're doing that, because most of the time I've used Canva on my phone, I haven't actually used it on my laptop. As far as like ease of use and being able to use it in the best possible way, would you recommend using it more on a laptop as opposed to a phone, or is it exactly the same across both interfaces?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So for the most part, the features are exactly the same across all devices.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, obviously the screen real estate you get on a laptop is a little bit more generous, so it can be a little easier to navigate some of the tools.
Okay.
But the idea is that we're completely cross-platform, so you can pick up and work on any device. My preference is usually desktop if I have the luxury of accessing a laptop, but it should work fine.
Yeah, that's exactly it's easier to kind of see all the navigation stuff, but often what I'll do is I'll create it on the desktop. And then as I'm, I don't know if you do this, but I always do this. I'm kind of like, as I walk out heading somewhere and I'm like, oh, actually I needed to say this. And then I can just update it really quickly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just jump in. This is a question about using Canva for her website. Is there a question?
Yeah.
Can you address
I was going to also
ask
as well. Yeah, thank you, Rebekah.
No worries. Yeah. Okay. Well, give me a moment. I'll show you how to export this one, and I can also just show you how you can also do a website. But in terms of animating something like this, so we've got this. This is called a sticker. You can see there's actually a few of them here. I mean, I probably wouldn't use this in a real design, but let's take this cute teddy bear idea here. But these stickers are obviously just kind of like animated GIFs. They just sort of loop around. And that's all good. If I just click on the background of the design here, we've got the ability to animate the entire design as well, which means you can sort of add like built-in effects for how everything sort of appears on the page. So you can see here we've got this kind of pan effect, which is quite nice. So that's now essentially ready to go. I can preview that down the bottom here. And then I can choose to download this as an MPEG-4 video, or even a GIF as well, which is obviously a little animated clip with no sound.
So you can make your own GIF, can you? Because that was another question that I had. Like when I've been using stories, I've been adding GIFs on my stories and stuff, but I was wondering how you actually create them. So you can do that through Canva.
Yes, definitely. Yep. Yeah, it's just here. So that's how you create a GIF, and you can download that as a GIF file and share that wherever you need.
Okay, cool. That's good to know, actually, because I was wondering, whether I can do my own, because it's like the templates that you have are cool, but I guess something that's more uniquely your own would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me come back here and I'll very quickly show you maybe the website instance and how you might approach that. So once again, starting with the universal search here, website, we actually have a document type specific for website. So there's a whole bunch of templates here to kind of get you started. So let me just jump into one of these for now. We'll go with this one. And these are designed obviously with the right width and everything, and kind of like enough content to kind of get you started. So you can continue to obviously update your content and photos just like any other template. And when you're ready to actually share, we have publish as website up here. So this essentially will allow you to create a few different styles. So you've got presentation or scrolling, or you can add a navigation to your website. I'm just going to do a scrolling page for now. And then this will post to a unique link, which you can see here, this URL. It's a unique URL, which you can then share with anybody, and they can, see this live on the web. You can see here, this is actually a full scrolling website. Animations, really, really nice, super easy to use. So that's how I'd approach that. There is one kind of major caveat to all of this. So websites are obviously a really big part of our roadmap going forward. And this is sort of like our websites. Our first go at creating websites. We're actually got a lot more functionality coming soon, which I can't really reveal too much in the product roadmap yet. But these websites aren't currently responsive. So it'll work perfectly for a desktop. But if you then reduce your browser down, the content won't actually sort of respond or collapse into a smaller page yet. But that sort of thing is stuff that we're working on in the future. So you'll have to just, keep your eyes peeled for the release of the new website functionality.
Okay, thank you. The only other question that I had is with the website options that you have, because obviously one of the things that I want to be able to do is have like a selling capacity. I'm assuming this really is only looking at the designs, right? Would that be correct?
Yeah, so this is perfect for, like, say, a landing page. But, Matt mentioned earlier, having things like a call to action or a CTA, which is, the kind of idea where you might take this, for example, which is a button, and you can actually create a link. So you can come in here and link out to your web store. So if you've got a separate e-commerce page somewhere else, you can actually just put that link in here.
Okay, I see. Fair enough. I guess what it wouldn't facilitate sales as such. It's more the design. That's
yeah. It's more like maybe a landing page with a bunch of links that can link off to different things.
Okay. Fair. Thank you.
Awesome.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Rayanne.
Thank you.
So last up, Liliana from tolu.com.au. So Liliana makes resort wear from Colombia and Turkish towels coming from Turkey. She uses Canva all the time, and she has a couple more advanced questions specifically about videos as well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me on board. Yes, as Rebekah said, I distribute brands from Colombia, resort wear, so swimwear, linen shirts, and Turkish towels. My business is very small, and I have been in trade for 3 years. I have been using Canva for quite a while. I find it very, very useful, especially for doing flyers and for my Instagram. One specific question that I have is I would like to understand better how to do GIFs with my own assets, and also how to do videos to use with my own assets to use in my social media and also in my newsletters that I'm going to send to my wholesale account and to my clients. Would you be able to help me with that, please?
Absolutely. So we've shown you a little bit about how you can make a GIF. So just basically like using animated features is a really easy way, and then saving it as a GIF. So saving something like that is really easy, just to like get the file, put it into your EDM or newsletter or whatever you're doing. So Nick, how about we have a look at videos in a little bit more detail?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can quickly show us how a video template or project might come together now, if you like. It is one of our kind of newest and most exciting products, Canva Video. So it's becoming, obviously, our team are constantly releasing new features for videos. So it's just always improving, which is really great to see. And I think it's one of the newest parts of our product. So yeah, I'd be happy to quickly share again how a video project might come together and some of that functionality, if you think that would be helpful.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's jump back in here. So I'm back on the home page of my Canva Pro account. So I mentioned before there is obviously like video templates. So come here and go to the video template category. So yeah, a whole bunch of different things in here. I guess to get the most out of the video editor side of Canva, we want to start with a video template. So I'm just going to create a blank one here. So this will bring me into a brand new blank video template. And of course, I've got all the different templates over here on the left, which I can add to my my design. So let's maybe take perhaps this one here. And I can choose to just add a single page just by clicking on it. And you can see I've essentially added one scene. So down the bottom here is the timeline. I've kind of got this single scene here. Or I can choose to apply all 10 pages, which will update my scene with, well, my timeline with all these different scenes. So now I've got a video that's probably, well, you can see here, it's 55 seconds long at the moment. How do we start editing this? Well, it's just like any other template. We've got everything here on the page is customizable. So, I can drop in, you can see this is actually a video here. Within the template, I might go and find a different one. Let's see what we can update this with. Apologies, I'm not particularly keeping on theme here, but let me take this shot of Sydney. We'll put that one in. Okay. And of course, I can also edit, I can also animate individual elements on the page as well. So this text, I might want to animate this in separately. So we can choose animate up here in the top toolbar. And maybe we can have this sort of appear in a block like that. Maybe have it pop in, type in like that. Tons of different options. Okay, let's maybe go with shift in. Okay, and then also between scenes here, I can customize whether or not I have a transition between this scene and this scene. So just in the middle here, you can see we've got kind of like dissolve, slide over, line wipe, circle wipe. Maybe we'll do a slide transition here. Let's click on that one. And you can see that updates with a little transition down the bottom. And now lastly, I think I need to edit this video. It's very long. This video is actually 54 seconds. So I'm just going to trim that one right down. Maybe we only need a few seconds, just like that. Click done. And then finally, I can adjust the length of each scene individually just by dragging it like this as well. So I can make this scene longer or shorter. So now I'll just come back to the beginning here and we'll just preview what that looks like. Oh, actually, before I do that, I'm going to add some music as well. So go over to audio. Let's find a little preview here. It's a little loud. I'll give that a go. And I'll add that in. So this is really good if you want to, just have, perhaps it could be a voiceover track that you're having, you talking over the top of a video. But in this case, just some music in there. And of course, you can edit the length of the music as well. And also adjust the volume. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit there. So it's a pretty comprehensive editor now, where you've got, access to all these really powerful video editing tools. So let me just preview that now and we'll see how that looks. All right, so you can see that's working quite well. Anything here is completely customizable. It can be as long as you need. And now all we need to do is go and download. So in the download tab here, we've got options for MP4 or GIF. Obviously, in this instance, we probably wouldn't use GIF, just MP4 to kind of download that as a high-res video file. Now, there's one other thing that actually I wanted to show you. I just remembered. It's a very new feature, but also really good for people who want to kind of record videos directly on their device and add them to the project. If we go to upload here, you have the option to record yourself. So I can come in here and here I am. I can go ahead and record a little video of myself. Super simple. I can pause and resume recording as I'm going here. I'll end that recording and I'll save and back to editing. And this will essentially add a new video directly into my project, which I can use maybe as a talking head or something else. So yeah, there's a ton of options. I know, apologies, it's a bit of a random project that I pulled together there, but hopefully you can see some of the functionality of how that all comes together. Does that help so far?
Yes, it does help. And my question is, would that file be big enough or not big enough to put it, for instance, in a newsletter so my customers can open them in the newsletter easily, or would it take a lot of effort or a lot of space in their phones to open that email with a video like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. When it comes to video content, there always is a bit of a trade-off with usability versus file size. Videos tend to be a lot larger than obviously static content or non-animated content. So I suppose it really depends on how. So you mentioned you're going to be sharing this in a newsletter. I'd have to understand a little bit more about what that looks like, whether it's a link that people then go to and download the video. What I would normally recommend is actually downloading this whole video as an MP4 and maybe uploading it to somewhere like YouTube. YouTube is a great place to host your videos, and then you can just embed that link into wherever you need. If it's a website or a newsletter or whatever it is, you can just embed directly from there. Or you can share it out directly from here as a link as well. So there's a share link to watch. This link right here. If I copy and share that anywhere, just by opening that in your browser, you can watch that video really easily.
Right. People don't need to have an account with Canva to watch it from the link?
No, they don't at all. So in fact, if I copy that link and I'll just open that in the window, this will just be essentially a little bit like how you might watch a video on YouTube. You don't need an account, don't need to log in. You'll be able to watch that straight away.
Very interesting. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks, Liliana's. All your questions? Are you cool on GIFs?
Yeah, well, but we are running out of time, but I guess I can connect later on with Nick or with Matt.
Absolutely. The only reason we wouldn't suggest that, because that was quite a long video as far as So turning that into a GIF would be probably the wrong thing to do. But if you had a very small video, that's very easy to turn into a GIF.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Liliana. We're going to go to questions now. We have so many questions. I'm struggling to kind of go through them. I think we have 30 questions. A lot of them are just love for Canva and how much it has helped their business. So I'll just go through a few questions that I can see. Can you show me how to organize your files in Canva?
Yes, I can probably take that one.
I might just go through these kind of as rapid fire as we can, because there are so many of them. I'll try and just punch through as many as we can.
So while Nick shows you very quickly, I will say that Nick and I are working on a how to use Canva, like a 101 kind of course that we'll be releasing very shortly, which goes through all this sort of stuff. So basically how to get up and running with Canva as quickly as possible, and then keep running with it so you're all organized and you know where everything is.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yes, you can see how many people have attended this webinar, and we've like virtually everybody has stayed the entire time. So there's obviously a massive amount of interest. So will that be an online course? Yeah, so it's an online course. So we're in the process of making a whole bunch of different courses. Like we have design school at the moment, as Nick is showing you right now, where you can like get some basics. But we also have seen the need that a lot of people, I guess, get into Canva, can see the power of it, and then almost get a little bit nervous about how to start. So this 101 course is basically taking you through step by step. It only takes it's under 30 minutes. And by the end of that, you'll have a very clear understanding about how to use all the basics. And then it's kind of up for you to like experiment, because as Nick kind of hinted at before, there's so much new stuff coming as well. And, you know, we want people to kind of find that new stuff and get excited, and then I guess kind of like play with it and see how they could possibly use it for their business. Okay, cool. All right, can we just fire through these questions? Yep. How do you organize files in Canva? And someone else has asked, how do I only save one page from a template that has many pages? I know you did that before and you deleted the other pages. Can you quickly answer that question?
Yes, let's see if I can rapid fire get through some of these. So in terms of organizing into folders and that sort of thing, so on the homepage here, we actually have a couple of different areas. So you have the all your folders section here, which is where you can, just like any other, I guess, folder management or content management system, or even just like your computer, you can create folders and you can add media to them. So obviously, just call this Nick folder, and I can choose who to share that folder with so other people can have access to it. But once you've created a folder, you can drag or move anything into this folder. So perhaps I'll come back up to my designs here. So here is Olivia's flyer that I was working on earlier. So maybe I'll just move that over to my folder, Nick folder here, and just click move. And that's how you move things. So it's really easy. It's not just for templates. It's for images, other assets that you've uploaded, basically anything you can add to folders and kind of move between different folders. It's a really important one. As soon as you start using Canva more and start building more and more designs, keeping it organized becomes really important. So I use the folders all the time. Yeah, absolutely. And so when it comes to working on a design and obviously wanting to save directly to a folder, we can, so hang on, the first question was to be able to add and remove pages from a template. Is that right? I think that's what I understood. So down the bottom here, there's actually a little grid view, which is where you can, I guess, manage multiple pages. I've only got one in here, but let's just add a few more. And so this will allow you to have, let's say, a presentation or a multi-page document. You can kind of rearrange things really easily just by kind of dragging them around. And of course, you can delete them in the same place as well. So you can come back up here. Maybe I'll get rid of these two, delete 2 pages. So that's really easy to sort of manage all your pages that sort of way. And then, of course, the design will automatically save whenever you're working on it. So the only thing I would suggest doing here is just sort of best practice is always come up and give your design a name. So even a version number is usually quite helpful. That way, you're going to be able to come back and find it later on. But as soon as you open a design in Canva, it automatically saves back here to your main all your designs folder here.
Okay.
So yeah, of course, I can move it from there as well.
Thank you. This is one for all those non-designers, of which most of us are. How do you know what elements or templates to choose? How big would the file be at the end that might slow the loading of the website?
Yes, it's a good question. So to take the first part of that question, how do you choose the right template? I suppose there's not really a good objective answer for that one.
I think the way we normally talk about it is get started. Don't let don't get paralyzed by the choice and begin. And then as you're going, I think Nick showed very quickly before, if I'm working on something and then I go, this is not the right template, I can literally drop in a new template over the top of it. And all the changes I've made, like the text and all that kind of stuff, will update.
Okay, cool. And what about size related to the website loading speed?
Yeah, so I guess the good thing is with Canva, you don't really have to worry about optimizing images and that sort of thing. That's all handled through our platform automatically. So especially in the instance of websites. So if I was to take a presentation like this one and add an image to it, the platform will automatically optimize that image so it's sort of like the right or the best possible size for viewing online on web. So yeah, it's not quite the same as if you were designing a website where you'd have to do all that sort of manually and resize all your images.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So next question related is, how do you incorporate the website template onto your WordPress website? So I saw it created a website that was on canva.com, but how do you incorporate that into your WordPress site?
Yeah, so that's another good question. So I guess there's kind of two ways that could be interpreted. So there is the option for you to embed a design onto a website. So again, coming up into the publish menu, if I choose embed here, this option, this will kind of give me like an iframe or a bit of code, which I can then copy and paste into say a WordPress website. And that will embed that design right there on your existing website. So in this case, it's a presentation. It'll embed right there where your viewer can kind of go through and view all the slides of your presentation there on your website. So that's how you really get it across onto a WordPress site. And then I guess, so the other part is kind of what I showed before, being able to share out as a website. At the moment, it just creates a kind of unique URL. So we saw here, we get this URL here. Hopefully soon, I don't want to speak too far in advance, but hopefully soon you'll be able to map to unique URLs, so your own custom domain name. But that's to be continued. It's coming soon.
That would be amazing. It would be amazing to have people like Rianne who want to build a website quickly.
Absolutely.
So there was a question before, but it's just disappeared. Which was around. Now here we go. Are the creations we make in Canva our own to use as we want, even commercially? And do we need to credit Canva or the original creators of the templates?
Yes, this is a question we get very often. Yeah, so it's essentially a question of licensing. So when you sign up to Canva Pro, you get access to a lot of pro content. So there's templates, photography and other elements that are otherwise usually paid for. But if you're a part of the Pro membership, you're given a license to use that content commercially for whatever you want. There's no issue there with licensing. Where you might run into some issues. So, there's some kind of gray areas, which are a little hard for us to answer definitively, but fonts, for example, in Canva Pro, you have the ability to upload your own fonts. But you want to make sure that you actually have a license to use that font, that you paid for it. You haven't just sort of download it from some random place, because you could get essentially in hot water with a type designer if you're using it without a license. And I suppose with our logos, there's I guess a bit of a gray area in terms of if you take one of our templates just as is and then use it as your logo commercially. Usually you need to make some sort of modification to it. So just update the colors or the type or something to it to make it unique and your own. And then you shouldn't run into any issues.
Yeah, the general rule is if it's on Canva, you're okay. But if you're uploading, you need to make sure you've got your own license.
Okay, good. That makes sense. So question is the brand kit for Pro only? I can't seem to upload my logo. Do you have to be a Pro member?
To answer that question, so Canva Pro includes brand kit, and that's exclusive to Canva Pro.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to everybody, to Rianne and to Liliana for sharing your businesses and your questions today. We've shared links to your businesses. Thank you so much, Matt and Nick, for your presentation and for being willing to answer all these questions, and for producing what is such an incredible tool for all of us business owners. Thank you. Just a couple of things. On the series of Reboot, we only have 2 left. So we're having a break next Monday for Queen's birthday, and then we're back on the 21st of June. We have I know that there's already 500 plus or so, I think, registered for the digital marketing, advanced digital marketing with Mark Bartzi from Shopo and Karina May from Plan. So that is the 21st of June. So please register, because we do have a capacity with Zoom. So if you want to come to that, don't miss out, because I know one of the other ones, the digital marketing ones, did sell out, even though they're all free. And the last one is on building your personal brand and your business brand using books and using podcasts. That is a special event with Spotify. That will be our last event on the 28th of June. I want to thank the City of Sydney for putting on the Reboot series. I think we've had so many participants and people coming back week after week and playing it in their offices. I hope you're finding it all really helpful. You will be sent a survey, which we'll share a link to now on chat. If you could give us your feedback and tell us what you're finding useful, any feedback to help us improve the last 2, that would be awesome as well. I think that's pretty much it. Thanks again for joining us. It's just after 1 o'clock. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. My name is Rebekah Campbell from Zambesi, and thank you again to everyone for participating today.